Perhaps you're thinking about getting an Evercade, or you're new to the Evercade family and you're not sure which device to buy. Or you're already into Evercade and you're thinking about getting one of your loved ones or family members into the Evercade ecosystem for the upcoming holidays. Well, you're going to want to stay tuned for my buying guide and my tips. It's just going to make your life that much easier. Roll the intro!
I'm Warren Davis, and you're watching the Evercade Effect.
Evercade Effect.
Hello fellow Evercadians and retro enthusiasts, you're watching the Evercade Effect on Evercade-9! And you're here because we're going to talk about the Evercade ecosystem. You're probably new to getting involved in this. This is going to be my 2022 buyer's guide. And if you're already in the Evercade ecosystem and you're wanting to get this for a family member, this is also going to help you out. And if you're currently a collector or gamer for Evercade, this is going to be a great reference because I get asked a lot on Discord and on Facebook, and it comes up a lot, where should I go? What resellers are good? There's one to avoid at the end, so all of them but the one at the end. Get my personal recommendation. There's no sponsors, there's no affiliate links. It's all going to be in the description below, so you can get right out there. You can, upgrade for yourself, or you can get more cards for a loved one. And we're just going to go ahead and dive right in. Go ahead and put on my Homer Simpson glasses. All right. So, the first site, and I talk about these folks a lot. Video Games Plus. Okay. I like Video Games Plus because they're fast, they're friendly, they're located in Canada, and you'll see here that the prices, are in the Canadian dollar. So roughly these cards that are $24.99, that's roughly around $20 USD. As I get more into my recommendations here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you the conversion rate. So let's go ahead and talk about, if you're new to the Evercade system, what are your options? So first you have here, you have the new EXP handheld, which is great. And you also have the existing handheld, which I'm going to talk about here shortly, and why you want to avoid if you're going to go on the handheld side. Well, you want to go ahead and get this one. So we see here, this is roughly around, just under $150 USD. And if you're going to go the handheld route, which full disclosure, I do love me my handhelds. What are you going to get? Well, first of all, you're going to get the Capcom collection, which is exclusive to the Evercade EXP. You're going to get all these 18 great built-in games. And one of the neat things about this is you can play it in tape mode. Yes, the screen actually rotates. Go ahead and check out some other videos on my channel if you want to see the hype and more features around this. This newer model has built-in Wi-Fi. It has 800 by 480 resolution. Still has a 720 mini HDMI output, so you can go ahead and plug it into your TV. And it comes with the Irem Arcade Collection 1, which comes with some fantastic shooters and whatnot. So yeah, this we're very much anticipating. Here's kind of a quick glance at the list of the built-in games and the games that you're getting with the arcade collection. So yeah, this is gonna be really great, and for the price point, that's just fantastic. And depending on the reseller, you should also get a case of it as well. And so now let's move on. Let's talk about. Let's say you're not into handheld gaming. Let's say you just want a console that you can plug into the TV with your friends. The Evercade VS is for you. It has 2 cartridge slots, which is nice because you can keep, if you're lazy like me and you like to chill back, you can keep 2 games in there. You can plug up to 4 players. This is freaking fantastic. Here's kind of a quick overview. This is 180p. And yeah, I should mention too, it says here for compatibility, that with the exception of the 2 Namco collections, you can play all these carts on the handheld, on the Evercade VS. The saves and all that stay on the carts, so you can easily move back and forth. And what's great, is with this collection, you get both Technos and Data East, fantastic multiplayer games. Burger Time is excellent. This is full of arcade games. Highly recommend. If you start off with this route, you're going to be in for such a good time. And if we go here for a quick conversion rate, it's a little bit cheaper at $118 and all that. Future Retro Kill-9 here. I almost forgot to talk about, there was one handheld you should avoid buying. Let's get into it, and that is the original OG Evercade handheld. Don't get me wrong, I love this handheld. It's older technology, and you can see for the price here of $122.99, yeah, you get 3 carts, but for just less than $30 more, you get the newest and latest handheld if you're going down that route, and the glasses are coming off, to be honest. That while I do love the original OG Evercade, you're going to want the newer premium one. That's going to be that much more sexier. It's going to feel better in your hands. You get all those cool features. Or if you're going the Evercade VS route, you're going to get that console with all its excellent features, and it's relatively about the same price. So unless you're a collector, just go ahead and avoid it. Trust me, you'll be happy that you did. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming. Now, one thing I do want to mention on their website is you may see some of the dual packs here, free shipping. So this is really neat on a lot of these. If you spend over around $40 USD, you get free shipping, and they're shipping at least to the United States. You do. I'm not sure if this is worldwide. And if you do want to pay for shipping, it still is relatively cheap. It's not it's not that expensive. So let me also show you here on the site, depending on which route that you're going to go, some of my recommendations to get you started, and then I'm going to go over kind of some of the pros and the cons of going through Video Games Plus before I move on to the next reseller. So if you're going to go ahead and get the Evercade EXP handheld, you're automatically going to get the IREM collection here. Let me give you a few recommendations to get you started. So if you still love that arcade goodness and you want to go shooters and whatnot, then I'm going to also recommend that you do get the Toplin collection. This is just going to be fantastic. I'm looking forward to it. As you can see, there's mainly a lot of shooters. There's also a few other games like Guardian, Snow Bros. Not everything is a shoot 'em up. This is going to be a fantastic collection. I can't wait to get my hands on this. I don't think you can go wrong with that collection. Another cart to get you started here real quick is this dual indie cart, Owl's Awakening and Cathedral. Both fantastic Metroidvanias that are just super high quality, especially Cathedral. And Cathedral is the first native game to run. So yeah, I highly recommend getting this. Don't let it deceive you that there's only two carts on here. 2 games on the card, I'm sorry. But yeah, over 60 hours of gameplay. I am pretty deep into Cathedral itself. And one thing I'll mention, you'll notice this blur about the firmware. Don't worry, both of those devices have Wi-Fi. You can get up to date. You're going to be totally good to go here. So, let's go ahead and talk about some of the pros and some of the cons, particularly with this site. So, what do I like about Video Games Plus? Well, for one, I've never had an issue with their customer service. It's really fantastic. And when I order, they don't know that I'm RetroKill-9 or that I have a YouTube channel. So that's the first thing that I want to mention. So what's one of the bad things? Well, sometimes, and it's only happened like maybe once or twice this year, where just Canada in general was one of the regions affected where there was a delay in the stock for getting some of the carts. And not the fault at all of Video Games Plus. It was a logistics issue. I've just noticed very rarely that'll happen, so I've had to cancel my order and then order through the next retailer I'm going to talk about here in a moment, Funstock, which they're located in the UK, and usually, well, I'll get into it more, but usually, it's the birthplace of Evercade. Usually they don't have issues. But when I have had to cancel, I've been given a full refund. Not a problem at all. No questions asked. So yeah, that's maybe the downside. But another plus side is, usually you'll get your product either for the free shipping. It's been my experience that you'll get your product sometimes a day or two early or a day or two after. So let's say you're supposed to get you ordered the new system or game. You're supposed to get that on the 10th. With the default shipping, usually I get that a day or two later, and in some rare cases I've gotten it a day or two earlier. Now you can also pay for faster shipping. I think you could even do like 1 to 2 business day. Or you can, for a couple extra bucks, you can do the 2 to 7 day USPS. And that's usually the option that I go for, because for one, I love that, this is if you're in the United States, of course. But it comes to the US postal system, I would imagine in your country of something similar. And for me, I like that it gets delivered to my neighborhood. It's with all the other mail, it gets locked up in one of those boxes. So when I go and check my mail there, I'm not having to be like a guard dog on the front porch and wait for it and look out the window. So for me, I like that, especially if it's rainy or bad weather. It's protected. It's locked. It's locked up there in my neighborhood mail. So for me, that works out better. So for those reasons, great. Great fast shipping and all that. There are other sites, like for example, Songbird is another US reseller. but I don't like how they charge a lot more for shipping. Like I want to say they charge like $10 or more for for local shipping. I've never used those folks, but VGA Plus, fast, friendly. Can't recommend them. Can't recommend them enough. And depending on your region, that that may or may not work out for you, as well too. So let's talk about another reseller. Let's talk about Funstock. All right. So here's the Evercade section. You can see there's a lot here, a lot of good deals. Now the one thing that you'll notice is when I go here, that automatically converted everything over to USD prices. I don't know if that's just I'm signed into my account. I don't think you have to be. I just converted everything here. And so you can see the prices, something's a little more expensive. This is the starter pack that I was talking about. You only get one game, but you do get these exclusive pins if you're, if you're into that sort of thing. For me, I don't really care as much. But as you can see here, prices are around the same, but shipping is going to be more expensive. But because this is the birthplace of Evercade, they're a UK-based company. This is going to have everything in stock most of the time. So if we just scroll down here, you can see there's a lot. If there's a back catalog of games that you want to get, they've got a lot of things here. And I would also like to mention too that Funstock tends to have exclusive deals and different deals. Video Games Plus will sell you the standard things if that's what you want, but here, like, you can get a bundle, with 2 carts and a hat, which is kind of nice. Or they have this crazy bundle that they were sold out of that was like almost $700 that included like everything. And sometimes they'll have extra odds and ends like this VS Link cable, which you're not going to need for either of the 2 products that I mentioned. But again, if you're looking for more, here's what they have listed here. So, what are some of the pros and the cons with using, Funstock? All right, so let's go ahead and talk about. As I mentioned, so the first pro is that most of the time they're gonna have everything in stock. I've never run into an issue where they've just magically been out of stock of a game, and if they do, they're gonna get back in pretty quickly. A matter of fact, when I first got into Evercade, and I got with one of the OG handhelds behind me, the white Evercade, I got that bundle pack directly from them. So yeah, that was kind of my first experience. Great, great customer service, friendly, all the same things for Video Games Plus. So one disadvantage, at least here in the United States, is that you can't just order one thing, or specifically, you have to order, I think it's like 50 pounds or $40 USD worth of stuff. Even though you're paying for shipping, there's a minimum order of that. So sometimes if you want just that one cart, and you don't need any other accessories, it could be a little bit frustrating to find what you're going to want to get. I've had that happen before. No big deal. And the other thing is you're going to have to pay shipping, which at least for, in the United States is generally going to be, more expensive. The one other disadvantage is that generally, depending on the conversion rate, generally the sterling pound is more expensive, at least coming from the United States versus in Canada. It's going to be a little bit cheaper. So that's one thing to factor in, and you're definitely going to be paying, a little bit more, for shipping. So typically if you get like 2 carts, probably going to be another $10 to $15 shipping on top of that. So just keep that in mind. But then again, they had like the limited edition of the EXP, which comes with a few extra goodies. Instead of being white, it's black. It's gonna, match my Steam Deck there in the back. So, you can only get that through them. But that bundle, I'm not gonna dive too much into detail. You can check out some of my other videos here on my channel. That was something exclusive for them. If you wanted it, you had to pay up, you had to pony up and get it from them. Okay, let's talk about some of the good things. So, because they do ship to various people all over the world, they tend to send out things early. So for my example back again, if you're expecting to get, let's say, that card or that new system on the 10th, let's say on average Video Games Plus, you maybe get it like on the 9th or the 11th. With Funstock, sometimes you can get it a week earlier, several days earlier, or at least on the date, which is crazy. But, you're definitely not going to get it late. Knock on wood, that's just been my experience. You're going to get it pretty much on time, or and even early, which is fantastic. The other thing is once it hits your country, like for me, United States, usually they use DHL. And once it does hit, once I do get it to my country, tracking from there is pretty quick. So on average, I want to say maybe it takes about a week to get something, when you place an order. So that's one thing to mention real quick. For items that are that already in stock, for Video Games Plus, depending on your shipping, I've got usually a few days to a week. And for going through Funstock, really, definitely no, for me, no sooner than a week, about the same, depending on what they want to do. So, yeah, if you have to have that item, if you have to get it early, they're always a good choice. If you want, if you're gonna want to get that thing that's out of stock elsewhere, it's gonna be in stock there. So, well, with all that said, I can't recommend Video Games Plus and Funstock. Both excellent resellers. You're gonna want to go with whichever one that fits you the best, fits your budget, fits your geographical location. So let's talk about the big one to avoid, and that is Amazon. If you watch us in Evercast, you hear Crow prefers to go with Amazon, but he hasn't particularly had any issues. With me, I've had lots of issues, and what I'm talking about, particularly with Amazon, is pre-order items. If you're wanting to get that next card, wanting to get the next system, kind of funny how they even have this a Sega Dreamcast, which is wrong. That's where the big issues are. Because with Amazon, with the pre-orders, for some reason they haven't figured it out logistically. They don't always get everything over there, delivered to their warehouses to ship out. And what does that mean? Well, what it means is that oftentimes they will cancel your order, there will be delays. That is not good. It's just, Amazon is really bad about communication. Their customer service is horrible when it comes to that, and they just don't care. And not only that, like when I did a search here, things are just weirdly scattered. Yeah, we got some Switch stuff coming up. Things really aren't that well organized, at all. So, I really don't recommend Amazon because you don't know. It's like it's like the Wild West. Now, for something that is in stock in general and for ordering everything else, I haven't had any issues. So if you're wanting to get this older cart, like the Codemasters, you think, oh, maybe I can get that. But look, it's 26, and it's, sometimes, some of these may or may not be sold through Blaze themselves. And look at that, Nintendo DS, so for the secondary market. But sometimes, I've had to pick up one or two carts from the secondary market because they were sold out everywhere. But just know what you're getting and what you're getting into. I don't like to go to eBay for any of this stuff because it's, it's just more reliable going through here again, unless you have to get that rare cart that's out of print or you really, really can't find it. But for me, I've avoided Amazon for Evercade just in general, and I've been a lot happier because, especially, being a YouTuber, I want to get the games. I want to get, I don't want to get them on time so I can make content for y'all. But yeah, just for kind of a quick listing, you can kind of see here, and there's other stuff mixed in. So for me, that's the only one to avoid. Now, one other thing I did want to mention, as far as having to track all this stuff, because yes, it is easier through Amazon to track all this stuff. But when you're when you're ordering from some of these other websites that don't have as, maybe let's say as nice of an app or an interface, of course you'll get email notifications. So what I do recommend is the Shop app, which if we scroll down here, I believe they have it for both Android and iOS. If we go all the way down, yes, we have it for both Android and iOS. And the reason why I recommend this, because while you're going to get that email notification, I like having the app. Sometimes I'll get the notification on the app first. There's a whole tracking map and everything. It'll show you where the package is at. You can get your local tracking number, and it's just a neat way to organize all your orders. It's free, so if you do a lot of ordering, that doesn't have to be Evercade, but just, if you do a lot of ordering overseas, I highly recommend that mobile app for both Android and iOS, because it's just going to make it so much easier for tracking everything. So if you stuck with me this far in the video, I really appreciate it. Hopefully my recommendations and tips, will get you started, whether you're looking to expand your own personal Evercade collection, or you're getting this for a loved one for the holidays. And if you happen to like the content and like this video, if you could please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. Evercade is my #1 passion. Despite the Steam Deck that you see behind me there, I am, 100% dedicated Evercade channel. Really looking forward to all the new carts that are coming out this year, next year, and the EXP. And if you're new to this channel, please go ahead and check out some of my other videos and links that I put around here. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.